Hi everyone, welcome to So Fantastic with Tiwa Avanti. Today I'm going to be showing you some freehand cutting method, particularly how to draft a basic bodice and sleeve with freehand. Okay, so I forgot to mark out my zip allowance, but please, when you are doing yours or when you're drafting yours, remember to mark out whatever you use for your zip allowance. Then you mark all your vertical measurements from the top of your paper or your fabric. So after that, then you rule corresponding horizontal lines along this part that you marked. So I have here shoulder to across front. Next is the shoulder to across back, and then shoulder to bust, then shoulder to under bust, shoulder to waist, okay, and shoulder to hip if you want, but I didn't mark that here. Mark your across front measurement divided by 2 plus 0.5 on the first horizontal line. Next, mark half of the across back plus 0.5 on the horizontal line for the across back, and also remember to add 0.5 inch to this measurement. Divide the bust measurement by 4 and add 2 inches for allowance, or whatever you use for your allowance normally. Also mark this on the horizontal line meant for the bust measurement. Next, mark the waist divided by 4 plus 2 inches. On the hip line, if you have that, also mark your hip divided by 4 plus 2 inches if you want your hip on this pattern paper. Label all the points accordingly and also join all the marked points. Next, divide your back measurement by 2. Add half inch to that and mark that at the top of your paper or your fabric. So at the center fold or the center front, mark 4 inches in from the edge of the paper and also 4 inches down, and this will be your neck width and your neck depth. You can also use 3.5. On the bust line, mark 2 inches in. To shape the armhole, connect this point to the across front mark and then shape into the 2 inch that you marked in on the bust line. This is for the front armhole. For the back armhole, shape as done for the front, but this time you're connecting to the across back mark and then blend into the 2 inch marked at the bust line. On the armhole curve, go down by 3/4 of an inch to create the shoulder slope. Okay, and connect to the neck point with a diagonal line. Don't forget to shape the neckline. Okay, so to create your dart, you can either mark half of your dart in from the center front or do it as I'm about to show you if you wish. So to do it this way, divide your bust to bust measurement by 2. Mine is 8, so I'm marking 4 inches, and you can add half inch to this, but this is optional. I am marking 4 inch from the center front, so I'm going to fold the front and the back pieces along that 4 inch mark. So next, you take it to your ironing board and press on it to create a crease. This is very useful if you are marking straight on fabric. After the crease has been created, so to shape the waist dart, mark 9 inches up from the waist, and this is the length of your dart. And at the waist point, mark half an inch in. So this is the width of your dart, and connect. You'll be sewing the dart as shown, as illustrated with these broken lines. If the length of your pattern is going beyond your waist, like to the hip points. Then the length for the dart below the hip is 7, both at the front and at the back. Okay, so if that is the case, you're marking 9 inches up and 7 inches down. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And for the sleeve, subtract the underarm measurement from the sleeve length and mark what you get on your fabric or your paper. You can rule an horizontal line, to indicate this point, and this will be your underarm point. So next, mark your elbow length and shoulder to wrist on your paper and rule horizontal lines also. Label, okay? Then divide the arm circumference by 2, okay, and mark that on the underarm line. Remember to add your allowance. Alright, and I'll be using 1 inch seam allowance. Also mark the elbow divided by 2 plus your allowance and the wrist divided by 2 plus your allowance along the horizontal lines. Connect as shown and also connect all the allowances you marked. So now along the sleeve head at the top, measure 1 inch in. Okay, so connect from the 1 inch to the arm circumference with a slant line. Next, divide this line by 3. Okay, so with your curved ruler, carefully curve the armhole towards the 1 inch and just blend it into that 1 inch that you marked. With your sleeve pattern and the bodice pattern, you have a complete bodice block using freehand. And like I said before, you can either draft on fabric or you draft on paper. You can adapt this for any style you want. So thank you for watching this tutorial. Stay awesome and I'll see you in the next one.